There is a suspect in custody after someone shot and killed an Atlanta security guard earlier this month. 28-year-old Ty Ross was a bouncer at the Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro off Lucky Street downtown. His girlfriend, Aaliyah, says she just wants someone to be held accountable.
I just want somebody to be held accountable. I am glad that somebody, was arrested today.
Atlanta police say they've arrested a 21-year-old man and charged him with several things, including murder. The department credits its homicide investigators and fugitive unit for tracking down the suspect.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
Somebody going to clean it up, baby. What's good? What's good in the neighborhood, baby? I don't know what's going on with my camera. I don't know why y'all can't see the top of me. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But anyway, thank y'all for coming. It's your girl, the missus with the kisses. Mwah. Thank y'all. Y'all showing up and showing out tonight. That's what I'm talking about, baby. It's Peachy News. Y'all know how we get down on Peachy News. You already know. Put them peaches in the comments, baby. Put them peaches in the comments. And we have the phone lines open tonight, baby. The phone lines are open. 470-519-0766. Okay? Now, for those that just missed that first clip, we're going to run it back for you, okay?
There is a suspect in custody after someone shot and killed an Atlanta security guard earlier this month. 28-year-old Ty Ross was a bouncer at the Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro off Lucky Street downtown. His girlfriend, Aaliyah, says she just wants someone to be held accountable.
I just want somebody to be held accountable. I am glad that somebody, was arrested today.
Atlanta police say they've arrested a 21-year-old man and charged him with several things, including murder. The department credits its homicide investigators and fugitive unit for tracking down the suspect.
Hey, y'all, we are back. Hubby has fixed the camera for me. Thank you, babe. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. Right on the pulley. But yes, you guys, it's your girl, the missus is in the building. I am hot. I've started drinking already. Hey, Mama Peach. I know you didn't want to hear that. But hopefully hubby will go and get me a fan in a minute, baby, because my fan is way over here on the other side. So if he don't go get me the big fan, then when we go on commercial or something, that's when I'm going to get my pink fan. Y'all remember the pink fan? I'm going to have to bring that on back. But y'all, let me go ahead and bring up Jason. Y'all know Jason be here with me. You already know. Here he is.
Yeah. What up, though? What up? How everybody
Jason
doing?
is in the building.
What up, though, Mama Peach? I see you out there. You know what I mean?
Ooh, he see you, Mama Peach.
What up, sis? What's good with you?
Jason, how have you been?
I'm good, man. It's been a long one. I've had little rest, man. My little one is kind of regressing, or as I said, my 2-year-old is regressing in sleep pattern. So you might see it. I wear my glasses so I can cover up the bags, but we here.
What's wrong with her, Jason?
I don't know, man. That's what I'm trying. I be asking her too, and she just be looking at me like, "Daddy." I'm like, "What's wrong with you? Go to sleep." She say, "Up." I'm like, "No, it's 4 a.m. Nobody up right now. Everybody go to bed."
See, that's that TikTok, CTV radio. You be all crunk, and as soon as it's over with, she like, "Hey, I'm crunk
Right?
too."
She welcomed me up. Like, "You done? I heard you."
She ready to get it in too. She ready to get it in. Now we have a show tonight. We have a part 2 from the radio station on Saturday. Jason, I saw that you posted. You made a post and you said that this was something that was dear to you, close to
Yeah,
you.
man, this is real close. I've done security in nightclubs for over a decade, and there's been quite some close calls. There's been, arguments that could have led to it. One of my closest brothers, Free Delfonso, he got popped a couple times, just because people didn't get allowed in or whatever senseless act to it. So I know personally the feeling that not necessarily our guest is going through, but as a fellow security guard, I know what his friends at that restaurant or establishment may be going through in that situation. So yeah, it's just real close. It's real touching to me. It's real close home. I just retired 2 seasons ago. So
Wow.
and here in Minneapolis, it started. It was like right before COVID. It started getting real hot. It started. I mean, nonsense. Like these kids out here are too young, and they feel some type of way when they get told no. So
They don't like no.
No, their ego is bigger than they think. Their pockets are bigger than everything, and they think that we're not people. And yeah, it's close, man.
Exactly. Now, what's up, Energy God in the building, baby? What's good?
Energy God. My man's is the best.
Yes, he always doing his thing.
Said, I don't know what you're doing.
Now, before we bring our guest up, Jason, I got to say this. I have to. It's a must. I need y'all to tune in on Friday, okay, for Peachy Talks, because I saw some shit today. Now, I'm always for us black folks. And Jason, you know that. We for us black folks. Facts. Sometimes we do stupid ass shit, but I'm still always for our black folks. Jesse about to come out.
Oh, Jesse Smollett, whatever his name is.
Jesse Smollett. He is about to be released. I don't know how I feel about this one, Jason.
Well,
I don't know if his community has riled up together to get him out, or if it was the black community that got him to get out, or we don't know.
I'll say this: we too busy laughing. You know what I'm saying? When you say the black community, I think we're a little too busy laughing at him, and like, come on, bro. So his real community, I think, really was the ones that probably pushed for it, or maybe his prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? The prosecution did their thing, but I think his real community, if you know what I mean, the all the alphabets.
Yeah, I believe them too. I believe them too. And hey, if they can stand strong like that, I think the whole black community can stand strong and get some things done out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Now, do you agree with me on that? Jay, don't get quiet now. Don't you get quiet.
I have to sip my tea. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. This is why we do what we do, y'all. Let me run it back. If we all was a black community together and did the same thing that they was doing to get Jesse up out of there, then me and Jason wouldn't have to do this.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
And we would be the community that would clean it up. The black community. If we all just stuck together.
You know what? I agree, man. But we got to break a lot of not boundaries, but a lot of generational curses, which we are doing. I see now, because no one is afraid to help someone now. No one's better than the other. If I'm on, you on. If I'm winning, you winning. As long as you bringing a positive vibe, we winning. You know what I mean? Like, come help me, because whatever I'm missing, I hope you know, or you know someone that know it. And what I do know and you don't know, I'm sharing it. Like, period.
I agree with you 100%, because y'all know I gotta throw in another one. You know, Jason said we was all laughing and stuff, and I was one of those. But that because Jesse was doing this right here.
Robert, stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Robert. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. Y'all, I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Don't worry, Jason. Don't worry. Because Jesse, they came through for you, baby. They came through for you. I just wanted to make sure I say that. But don't worry, because come Friday, baby, I'm going to have a whole lot more to say.
She said I got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. We're going to have a whole lot more. So make sure y'all tune in on Friday. Okay. I just had to make that public service announcement and get that on out the way. Okay. That's what I had to do. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring up our guest, Aaliyah Strong, which is here to talk about her fiance, who was murdered at Club Encore, which I'm not going to say club. It's a hookah lounge, because that's what they call themselves, a hookah lounge. Mm-hmm. So he was killed there, murdered. Was they murdered? He was a security guard. And on Saturday, when she came to the radio station, she just basically told everybody who Ty Ross was, what Ty Ross was doing out here in these streets. You know, she basically brought awareness. Today on Peachy News, she's going to tell y'all exactly what happened that night, why he got killed, how he got killed. And I'm telling y'all now, go ahead, brace yourself, because you might be hitting the flow after this one, baby. Okay? You might just hit the flow. And today it has been 43 days, if I'm not mistaken. But Aaliyah gonna make sure she let me know if I'm saying it wrong. But I believe it's 43 days that he has been murdered. So here she is, Miss Aaliyah.
Hi.
Hey,
Yo.
Aaliyah.
What up, though?
How are you?
I am wonderful, sweetheart. How are you?
Good.
Now, you just told me and Jason that you had some little relaxation. You had some relaxation today.
Getaway really quick.
Yes, I'm sure it was well needed. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I probably look dark now.
You look beautiful. And that pink on that t-shirt, baby, is popping. Okay? Is popping. Ty's keeper, baby. Now, first and foremost, like I told you on Saturday, my condolences. My heart goes out to you and to his family just as well. Briefly, tell us a little bit on Ty. Some of the stuff that you told us on Saturday.
Okay. So just to kind of recap, Saturday, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Ty was just like a great person. Like, I know a lot of people say that when people, pass away or get killed, but like, no, genuinely, like, he just wasn't. It's just crazy to me how it happened, because he's just not that type of guy. Like, you meet guys and then things happen and you could see kind of how that may have happened, or but like with Ty, was just so unexpected because he's just so non-confrontational and just chill. Like, either he's at home or he's at work. Like, he really didn't like to go out at all. Like, I would be the one like, okay, now we need to go do something. Like, I'm very much a busybody. So it was just crazy to me how you can just go to work and, just be killed for basically doing your job. And the fact that I was there, that night as well, kind of just hit a little different for me. So my experience is probably a lot different than everybody else, versus maybe if I would have just got a phone call but having to just go through that whole experience. It was just crazy. It was
because you was there when it happened. And take us back to that night when it actually happened. Like, you was in there, you're a server, correct?
Yeah. So Saturday I went into the details about kind of everything that happened. So I'll kind of briefly fill y'all in a little bit. basically, to try to make a long story short, we were working. It got really busy, to be a Tuesday, because Tuesdays are usually really, really slow. Saw some commotion at the door. And so I walked over to the other security guard that was Ty's friend at the time. So he came inside and he was just like yelling and really mad. And I'm just like, what's going on? But I'm just thinking maybe it's another fight or, just typical club situations that happen. And it's just crazy because a lot of people that work in clubs or lounges, you kind of get used to it or just prone to it, that some of the things that happen, it just becomes your norm,
Exactly.
So I'm just like, oh, if it's another fight, whatever. Okay, let me go to the back and bring this food out. So he told me that Ty had got shot. And so that's when I kind of ran outside and, he was laying there and bleeding out and everything. So I was just trying to talk to him and like trying to, get him to regain consciousness because at the time he wasn't alert or anything. I didn't, touch him because I didn't know where he had gotten shot at. So, the EMS people came, the cops came and everything like that. And so I was kind of frantic and I was doing the most. So they kind of made me go back.
To be
inside.
expected.
Yeah. So they made me go back inside. And they kind of made everybody go back inside. For whatever reason, everybody kind of rushed outside, which I don't know why people kind of navigate to where everything's happening, but hey, it is what it is. And so while I was in the office, somebody from outside came back inside and basically said, he's alert, he's talking, he's stable, he's headed to Grady, but he had our car keys in his pocket, so I couldn't drive the car to the hospital. So one of the cops that was on the scene drove me to Grady. And so we were waiting in the waiting room, and in my head at the time, like I'm in the waiting room, I'm on TikTok, like I'm chilling because at this point I heard he was stable, he was alert, like he was okay, so I'm thinking maybe it was just like a flesh wound or it was nothing like serious. Obviously it's serious because it's a gunshot wound, but I'm not thinking it's going to be fatal,
Exactly.
So when they came out, talked to his parents and everything, and, his family's in Virginia. So I kind of had to make that phone call to them and everything. And the surgeon came out and basically, told us where he got shot, basically was telling us everything that went wrong in surgery. And in the midst of him telling me and his parents, they were on the phone, how the surgery went, he was just going on and on and on, seemed like, to us. So his dad kind of was just like, okay, like get to the cut, like, how's he doing? Like, what are you trying to say? And he was just like, unfortunately, we couldn't save him. And so that was really hard, in itself, because nobody just saw that coming,
Exactly. Exactly.
After
We're going to go
that-
ahead and get into a clip, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to play this clip. And I really hope you guys are paying attention, because one of the things when this young lady, Aaliyah, told me this story over the phone before she came to the radio station, one of the things that stuck out to me was he didn't have any family here. He didn't have no family here. So she had to be the one to contact his family to let his family know that your son was shot. And they didn't even know if it was fatal at the time. So let's get into a couple clips and then we'll be back.
Right now, the search is on for the man accused of killing a security guard outside a downtown Atlanta nightclub overnight. And here's a look at the suspect right there, taken by surveillance cameras near Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro. And we're beginning to learn more about the security guard who was killed, Ty Ross. Here's John Sherrick with the very latest.
Friends and loved ones of security guard Ty Ross are remembering him, grieving. Many gathered Wednesday night for a private memorial outside the downtown Atlanta club Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro, where Ross worked, where he was shot and killed nearly 24 hours earlier. Atlanta police say Ross had asked a customer of the club to leave, and police say when the two got out front, the man shot Ross and left. Police asking for help identifying and locating the suspect. Crime Stoppers Atlanta offering a $2,000 reward in the case. There have been at least 2 other shootings at the same hookah bar in the past year. And in one of them, DeAndre Houston was killed. The city of Atlanta now looking at the record of the club, possibly to revoke its liquor license and shut it down. Mayor Andre Dickens.
So what I'm going to be doing is having a conversation with that particular club, Encore, because they've been a violator a number of times. This is the first conversation I had this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. I asked Chief, I said, how many times have they been on your list? He gave me a number, and that number is one too many. So you'll see some action soon on that.
The city looking at other clubs, too, for possible penalties. There have been 7 shootings at or near Atlanta clubs and restaurants since January 21st, and 3 people have been killed, including Ty Ross Wednesday morning. The senior pastor of Zion Baptist Church in Hampton, Kyle Berry, posted about Ross on Facebook. Such a tragedy. I am completely at a loss for words. He had just visited my church, and we ate dinner together. So the city of Atlanta focused now on ending violent nightlife crimes at clubs and restaurants by going after the criminals and the clubs and restaurants.
Identifying the security guard shot and killed while trying to kick a customer out of a popular lounge as 28-year-old Tyshon Ross. In fact, it was the medical examiner's office in Fulton County. It is the latest in a series of shootings affecting Atlanta nightlife businesses. And tonight, city leaders are vowing to crack down. The shooting happening overnight at the Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro off Lucky Street, which is close to several downtown tourist destinations. Officers tell us Ross asked the suspect to leave the club. When the two started arguing, police say he shot Ross multiple times and ran off. We reported on at least 2 other shootings at the same lounge last year. And today, Mayor Andre Dickens told 11 Alive he has had enough.
But what I'm going to be doing is having a conversation with that particular club, Encore, because they've been a violator a number of times. This is the first conversation I had this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. I asked Chief, I said, how many times have they been on your list? He gave me a number, and that number is one too many. So you'll see some action soon on that.
And take a good look here at these surveillance photos. This is the man that police are calling a suspect. If you know him, if you recognize him, you could get a $2,000 reward for identifying him. You can call in an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers at 404-577.
All right, y'all. Now, those were some very good clips, may I add. The pictures, I meant to say. The pictures of the guy. I mean, it couldn't get no clearer than that.
God, looked like it was an iPhone 13 that caught that picture.
The entire thing was on video, so
the entire thing was on video.
Yeah, I have the video on my phone.
Wow. So the video of the fight and everything?
Yeah, and like just from start to finish.
Okay. Now, how does that feel? I gotta say that. You got it in your phone.
I watched it in full. I just watched the beginning, like when they first got there. But I didn't watch the part with like the altercation and the shooting and all that. I didn't watch it yet.
Okay. Now, I want you to go ahead and tell everyone exactly what happened that night. But before we get into that, Aaliyah, every night I play a talent on my show. When I do my show. So I have to play our talent for the night. Our talent for the night is Jamie Boy. We're going to go ahead and get into that. When we come back, Aaliyah is going to tell us for the first time tonight on Peachy Tea Time, which is Peachy News Edition, exactly what happened, why this happened, and how it happened. And once again, y'all brace yourselves because this is ridiculous. Here we go.
You say you got a man, girl, he ain't me. If he ain't me, you ain't got a man. You tell me he's reckless, you say that he's selfish. You know that I'm jealous. You get in all of your love, you just don't get enough, girl. You need a real man. Yeah. Hanging out the back all over your lap. Like, is you out with him? I don't wanna know that. Yeah, I don't care long as you here by 10:30, no later than, so I could tell your man what do you want. Your girl is your girl, but man, your girl's gonna be mine soon. Your girl tells her girl she wants to be mine too. Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, maybe I could just slide through the weekend. And when that Monday comes, I'm a new man. Oh. So pack up all your things by next weekend. Yeah. You couldn't do one day, so she just went my way. Now I got it covered every weekend. Tell me if you're in the mood for a little bit more of us. No worries, I got you on the weekdays too. Cause I know you need way more than less him, more you, more me, on us. Just tell me you want me, yeah. Monday. Now I'll be at your door, ready to take his place. Ready to give you what you've been missing every day. What you've been waiting for. 10:30, no later than, so I can tell your man what do you want. Your girl is your girl, but man, your girl's gonna be mine soon. Your girl tells her girl she wants to be mine too. Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Maybe I could just slide through the weekend, yeah. When that Monday comes, I'm a new man, oh. So pack up all your things by next weekend. You couldn't do one day, so she just went my way. Now I got it covered every weekend.
You're live with the Energy God. I'm here with the message, man. He's 92.3. But if you ain't tuned in to PG time, I don't know what you're doing. Let's get it. Let's go. Whoa. Yeah.
Y'all better be tuned in to PEACHY time because we don't play no games. We don't play no games. All right. Aaliyah, take over, baby. Take over. And if you need to pause for a second, that's fine. Let me know. We'll go ahead and go into a commercial, because I know this is hard for you. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
So leaving off from what happened, I did get a chance to go in and, see his body and everything. And I couldn't go home that night because he had the keys in his pocket at the time. So, of course, they take all your property to the precinct when stuff like this happens. So I had to stay, at a family member's house. And the next morning, woke up, I had planned a balloon release, which you all saw the clip of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I had to reach out to, of course, Encore and his family and things like that to see, okay, at this point now we're having to plan for a funeral. So as far as like insurance and things like that, I tried to, get all that together. And that's kind of when I found out that Encore didn't have any insurance on their employees. And then once I talked to the owner, obviously I would need time off work. At the time, I didn't know if I was going to go back because, me and Ty met at Encore. So it's like a bittersweet place for me. So I just asked them like, hey, is there anything y'all can do while I take time off to just figure out, what my next move is? But of course, they didn't really have anything in place and kind of was just like, we'll see what we can do, basically. So at that
Did they pay for the funeral?
No, they didn't pay for the funeral. They didn't really do anything.
Did they send a flower, Aaliyah?
No. Now, a few other clubs sent me flowers. But not Encore. And as far as, none of them came to the funeral. It was like 5 of us that went. The funeral was in Richmond, Virginia, where he's from. So Ty's only been in Atlanta 5 years. So we had the funeral in Richmond. It was like 5 of us that came, but no one from the security team came. None of the owners came. People had their own different reasons. I mean, I understood like some of his close friends that were part of the security team just said that, hey, we love you. We're here for you. But I just can't and I understand because some people just really can't do funerals. Like it's just, They can't do that. And, some people don't want that to be their last memory of someone, because that kind of sticks with you. So I understood, but as far as like the owners and stuff, like not even showing up to the balloon release or anything, just kind of was just like crazy to me, especially because Ty worked there longer than I did. Ty worked there for 2 years. So it was just like, he basically, and it was times where like we both were really like losing sleep, like time with each other, time with my son, like just to basically make a living. So for y'all to just treat it like it's just another day just was crazy to me. And, even after everything happened, they wanted to open, well, the owner wanted to open the very next day, and everybody was just kind of like, we're not, coming to work. So I did have a conversation with the owner of the security team and just was asking the questions like, do y'all have any type of insurance for these guys? Why didn't they have bulletproof vests and things like that? And that's kind of when he was just like, as far as, when you have armed security, you have to have $1 million policy, and they didn't want to pay on that. And then as far as the bulletproof vests, he just said they're expensive. They're too expensive. So that's kind of when things started to take a turn.
Okay, so they didn't provide bulletproof vests. This is not the first person that has gotten shot and killed at Encore. They didn't pay for the funeral. They didn't have insurance on them. And they didn't even send a damn flower to the funeral.
Yep.
Jason, you said that you was a security. You have retired.
Yeah.
Did y'all have bulletproof vests?
We did not. No. You could have done that on your own. That's something that you will provide for yourself. Reason being, and I would kind of understand from their side of it. I wasn't like in ownership, but I did make management at, in my tenure. But you just have such a high turnover rate that it'd be hard to give that many type of equipment out every single time. It was even just hard having walkie talkies, in the size of the club that I was in. So that was just something you would do on your own. And after being there for a while, I never wore one. I should have. there was a lot of times that I thought like, times are getting a little crazy, and that's when I would take a hiatus, and I'll come back, or I'll switch a club just because I felt like too much rah-rah was going on over there. But no, we didn't provide that kind of equipment when you were working.
Okay, now Aaliyah said that the reason why, and quote me if I'm wrong, the reason why they did not provide the bulletproof vest was because they felt like they couldn't afford it. Correct?
Well, yeah, they're not necessarily they couldn't afford it, but kind of like Jason said, they're just expensive. Now I know Encore security team specifically, they have pretty much, it's been like the same people for a long time. But kind of how he said, like a lot of security guards, and I've talked to some, like I've been in different places and I'll just happen to see a security and be like, hey, why don't you have a bulletproof vest on? And they kind of all have the same mindset. Like you don't really think you need it until you need it, basically.
The ones that know or that have them on typically done service.
Yeah.
They were in the army. They were some kind of service. So they came with it. Like I said, it was their own. But the ones that have been in it for a minute, that are just like pedestrians, like I am, and whoever, even women, we wouldn't do it, mainly because it was just too much, and we didn't think it was a side job. It wasn't a main. It wasn't something that we really invested all into, so we wouldn't make that big of an investment. And then on top of that, if you had tenure, the customers that are coming in, so who woofing and who's not. And then the ones that are not, you talking to them different than you are someone that's woofing. And you could tell someone, a mile away who's going to actually be about theirs.
Okay. Now, but if the state requires it, then they would be able to come up with the money to make sure that they get bulletproof vests. Like these bulletproof vests is not millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
We paying lots of money to get into these clubs. You know what I'm saying? Magic City, $60. Strip club here in Atlanta. And for those that are not aware, this club Encore is here in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. Aaliyah's in Atlanta. This happened here. So it's a lot of clubs here. It's a lot. They different names. Clubs, hookah lounges, just lounge, strip clubs, and bars. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? They all got different names, but either way it go, 9 times out of 10, it's a security guard at the door. It's a security guard.
Yeah.
And again, at the end of the day, you don't know when somebody gonna snap. You don't know. What this story right here is senseless. It did not have to happen.
And then the thing with this story too is it wasn't like the typical guys you see in the club where they like, oh, I'm gonna go get my gun and I'm gonna be back. Like, you know, because obviously then you would kind of be alert or on guard. Or it wasn't like, you know, a situation where Ty kind of had to jack him up inside the club and drag him out, or, you know, those type situations. It was literally like he didn't even make it in the club. And it wasn't even a major altercation. He just kind of like, you know, y'all can't come in because the girls you with underage, whatever the case may be. And security guards know if you throw security at 20 or 40, they usually not going to do too much. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can see in the video where Ty kind of pointed at the ATM by the door. So I'm assuming he was like, you know, y'all can throw me a 20 or a 40 and, you know, I'll let y'all in. But they kind of ended up just leaving. And the guy, he asked Ty, like, can I go use the bathroom? Ty, you know, pointed to where the bathroom was. And then he left for a few minutes, came back. And I guess that's when he kind of initiated the altercation at the door. And then he hit Ty. And so that's when Ty kind of like pushed him outside and they started fighting outside, and then he shot him. So he went back to the car to get his gun because you can see in the video where Ty patted him down, you know, the first time, like thoroughly and everything. So
they come to the club. Was it 2 of them? 3 of them?
It was 2 guys and 2 girls.
Okay, 2 guys and 2 girls. They come to the club trying to have a good time or whatnot. And the 2 guys is first, I'm assuming. And they like, Ty checks their ID. They're able to get in. Ty tells them that they can get in. But now it's time to check the girls. They're not old enough.
Yeah, and then they had like the little, you know, the little small liquor bottles. The girls had them in their purses. So you could see where Ty took them out their purses and was like, they don't usually throw them away. They'll keep them, like, you can get them when you leave or something like that.
Okay. So at that time, he told them that they couldn't come in. And was they rah-rah and then?
Like, you could see the girls kind of laughing, like, you know, come on, like, you know, talk to them, whatever. But I know Ty, like, he just like, okay, like, I could have worked with you, you know, if you may be 20 and you about to turn 21 in a few months. But it's like, not only are you underage, but now you're trying to sneak bottles in the club and trying to be sneaky. And basically, like, one of the girls you could see tried to, like, kind of sneak in. And so at that point, he's just like, okay, yeah, like, y'all got to go, basically.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Exactly.
I've seen that hundreds of times. And Aaliyah is absolutely correct. You know, I don't want to throw any of my brothers under the bus worldwide. You know what I mean? And I kind of was clenching my jaw, like, shut up, girl. What you talking about? What you talking about? They don't give us no money at all. What you talking about? But that's dead ass though. You know what I'm saying? And it's karate around everywhere. Everyone knows that. Like she said it so fluidly, where it's like everyone does know that. So if my man came prepared, you know, you got underagers with you, it's not hard to even up the ante. And you looking at me in my eye and saying, here go, pat my hand as I take the ID and I know what it is. I know. You don't got to say nothing else. I look at them too, and then I confiscate what I need to, because I'm like, you got to meet me halfway. I'm already doing what I need to do to get them in here. Now they're going above and beyond. So go ahead and get out my face and get in there and go do what you do. And we all go home and there's no issue. But if you're not even respecting that part and you're not respecting what I do here, then you're not gonna respect what's happening inside of here. This is like my home at the end of the day. You know, I'm at the front door. I'm the person that's responsible of the whole place, because I'm the one that's making the conscious decision on who should be in here or not. And now I got to take care of my home. Cause say y'all get in there and then they do act rah-rah, and Aaliyah come to me like, nigga, you let these niggas in here? Yeah. Like, why would you do that? That's making her day hard and whoever else is in there. So at that point, they're not making the conscious, like they came on some other shit. And if they playing around at the door, I can kind of see where the escalation had went. Yeah. And where my man might feel disrespected at it. But you know, I love to hear more. But it's just my 2 cents. I get it.
So it's like, for me, it was just like, I just think, like, what made you want to go back to the point where you felt like you needed your gun? Because Ty did not have a gun on him that night. Ty actually, that's a whole nother story from the other day, but he didn't have his gun on him. So, it was just like.
But usually, as a security guard there at Encore, he has a weapon on him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you,
Well, they
this is
can,
something
or
I
they,
just don't know.
It's not a requirement, but it's like
Right.
you know, it's a good thing to have, but they're not gonna not hire you if you don't have a gun, basically.
Correct.
Okay.
So
they
my question
recommend
for all you Georgians is it an open carry law there?
Now they
Now.
just passed the
I
bill.
just heard about that. You're right.
They
And you don't
just
even need
passed
to
the
have a
constitutional carry.
right, and you don't even have to have a car. You just like, I go get the gun and I'm Gucci. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
But you still have places that don't allow you to bring it in.
Right.
Just because you can carry it, that doesn't mean you can bring it in my establishment.
Right.
Understood.
Okay.
So, as far as that piece, that was like the main thing for me. And it's like, I just know Ty, like, he's just not a confrontational guy. Like, even at home, we'll have little arguments. He'll be like, I'm not finna do this with you. Like, I'm finna go for a walk. And when you done, like, I'll be back. Like, you got all that. Like, so it's like we're complete opposites, you know? So it was just like, how did this even happen? Or what was going through his mind to even take it to that point? Because I even think from his perspective, like, I'm sure when he left the house that morning, he was like, I'm going to kill somebody tonight, you know?
Exactly.
So, and he's only 21. The guy that killed him is only 21.
And he is locked up right now.
Yeah, court has started. I was at the first court date and everything. So that was a very emotional day. So that has started, and there are actually 2 defendants. So both of the guys that were there both got arrested. They both have the exact same charges. So there are 2 defendants on the case. I guess, you know, even though you weren't the shooter, I guess he has some type of involvement. Yeah,
you're an accomplice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the girls should have been there too.
Yeah, I don't
They should
think
got
they
arrested.
charged them with anything that I'm aware of, but I do know that the 2 guys are in jail right now.
So
Well,
my
that's definitely
question,
a good thing that they caught.
I have a question. How many people was at the door during that whole scenario?
Just Ty. So originally, on the weekends, there's usually 3 security guards there, 3 or 4, depending on the night. But Tuesdays, like I said, are typically really
slow
really
night,
slow.
yeah.
So they usually only have 2. So, you know, one will be at the door, and then one will be kind of by the bar and the DJ booth to clear the way, you know, kind of watch the club.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, this night just got crazy busy. It was only 2 servers working, me and one other girl. So every section was sold, and we're ripping and running. Because I even kept replaying the night, like, how did I miss this? But we got so busy, you know, out of nowhere. So in the midst of I done sold like 7 sections, you know, the altercations happening at the door. So that's what kind of bothered me the most was like, you know, I had brought a bottle to a table and I'm ripping and running. And that's when I was talking to a girl at a table. She was asking about a hookah or something. And I just seen everybody kind of looking at the door. So I'm like, so then she was in the middle of talking. I was like, hold on, I'll be back. You know, so she probably like, dang, she rude, but I don't know what it was. I just felt like that time was different. Like, let me just go see what's going on, because it just was like the whole club was just looking at the door.
Wow.
Understood.
Wow.
Yeah. So my thought is this, man, and I'm only gonna, because I was a doorman for like the last half of my tenure, and I get it. Like I run through a couple plays in my head to see where this young man could come from, and just how you describe Ty is like how you would describe me. I'm very non-confrontational. I'm funny with it, and you know I never really want to do my job. And when I say it that way, it's like when you think of a security guard or bouncer, they're here to protect and do and be that, oh, you know, bald-headed big guy in the way. Like, no, not at all. Like, not one bit. I'm trying to joke and laugh, because once again, if I can change your demeanor and how you feel before you get in, then that's going to, you know, enhance, right? So if I make you mad at the door, when you get in, you're going to get even more mad, because now you got this liquor in you, whatever else is in you, and you're going to just erupt even more so. But if you go in with a laughing smile and just like, oh, that was cool, he was a cool dude, that's going to keep going, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking like, all right, how can this scenario really work, right? My man come in, is him and his homie, they bring in, you know what I'm saying, little tenderonis, and they like, all right, pat down, and he's like, look, these ones underage, I can't let them in, blase ski. Plus they got this and that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe run this back to the car and come back and, we'll talk a little different. And I'm just trying to see if, like, there couldn't have been a way of, what is the word I'm looking for? Being rude to him. I don't think Ty could have been any, like, aggressive or even rude to him to be like, no, you can't come in, and say it aggressively for him to go back and get it. I just really think my man felt real disrespected.
Especially in front of the girls.
In front of the girls.
Because here's what you can think of, right? You got to think of it this way. He just turned 21 to sound like, or he is 21. So now he's able to be in here and flex a little bit because he got 20-year-olds with him. And he's like, I'm always in here. They know me. And he probably preempted. And when he got there, he got shut down. Might have been even in a nice way, but he got shut down. And now he like, well, they probably, you know what I'm saying? He don't want to get clowned or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't really result in the fact of, you know what I'm saying, ending someone's life like that, because something a lot more going on inside that young man's head.
And it's just so crazy too, because I don't know if y'all been watching the drama unfold on my Instagram page, but Encore, they had another like shooting a few days ago. And so, my source recorded the staff meeting they had recently. And, the owner came in and basically said they're supposed to close March the 24th. So I'm not going to hold my breath on it, but, I'm hopeful. But it's just the fact of like, it shouldn't even have come to that for y'all to want to close. You know what I mean? Like at this point, it's been so much, and it's just like how many shootings have to happen, how many people have to lose their life for the light bulb to turn on. Like something got to, even if we got to close for 2 months and see what we can do to change this around, maybe we need to switch locations, whatever it is.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, after this one, after Ty, they should have been shut down. There should have been something in there that was done quickly. I can only resort back to myself because I've done this for so long. And there was a few clubs that I've been a part of that had the same scenarios, but it was only to the patrons that were there. And no one, I think probably in the time I've done it, 2 people may have passed. But one, I do know they shut it down. Like it was literally a week or 2 after everything was pulled, revoked, doors was closed. And it was like, man, we can't do anything until we really come to a conclusion of what's going on in the city. They did reopen like a little bit afterwards, but it took almost like a season for that to happen. And the fact that it's one of your own, you may want to. I understand you may be losing money. And I understand that, things are coming up on the owner side of it. But at the end of the day, if you don't show that love and take a little bit of time to figure out, well, what's going on so I can protect the rest of my staff, because right now this is one of your aces. This is one of your guys that protected everybody, and now he's not here anymore. I personally wouldn't feel safe anymore. Like I don't want to come back to an establishment that aren't protecting us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much they could have done. Like they could say that. Well, I don't know what more could we have done. Well, staff more.
Yeah.
Pay more.
Can I ask
more meetings?
Can I ask what's their race? What is their race? The owners?
They're Black. Yeah, and that's why, like, even the people that I was kind of cool with that worked there, I'm kind of detached from anything associated with Encore, just off the simple fact that it's just like I feel like, you have to stand for something. And, everybody, when things like this happen, of course, everybody's going to be at the balloon release and, shortly after. But it's like everybody wants to talk about how unfair it is, how messed up it is. They need to do X, Y, and Z. But it's like if you're still working there or basically contributing, supporting an establishment that you claim that you don't like what they did. I mean, I just feel like obviously you don't feel that strongly about it if you're still going there or if you're still working there.
I agree. We're finna get into our last couple clips, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get into a commercial first, and then we're gonna go into our last couple clips, and then our motivation for the night. Here we go.
girlfriend of a murdered security guard giving insight into what happened the night of his death. The two worked together at Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro, where Ty Ross was killed on Wednesday morning. His girlfriend of 1 year telling Hope Ford, even as a security guard, he had a non-confrontational, calm spirit.
It's one of those familiar feeling love stories, one where two people spend a lot of time together, then realize there's something there. That's how Aaliyah Strong remembers falling for Ty Ross.
Friendly, like just loving, charismatic, giving.
The two worked at Encore Hookah Bar and Bistro, the first place they got close and the last place Aaliyah saw him.
So it just kind of was like a big eye opener.
While working Wednesday morning, Aaliyah saw commotion at the front doors on an unusually busy night.
His friend came back inside and was just like frantic. So I just kept asking him, like, where's Ty? Where's Ty? Like, and he was just like, Ty got shot. So I ran outside. I saw him like laying on the ground and bleeding out, but I didn't know where he got shot at. So I kind of was just kneeling by him, trying to talk to him. One of the officers drove me to the hospital and told me he was stable, you know, before he went to surgery. And so I kind of really didn't have any worries.
Ty was shot in the lung, spine, and chest. Doctors unable to stop internal bleeding. Aaliyah will tell you the grief comes in waves.
Like I cried, then I'm mad, then I'm, you know, normal.
And as a mother, there's an added layer. Her 4-year-old son extremely close to Ty.
I haven't even brought my son home yet because I know he's going to ask where's Ty, because that's all it ever was here, you know?
Aaliyah doesn't know why this suspect would shoot Ty. She does know Ty should be remembered for who he was, not just how he died.
Humble, he's so non-confrontational, just calm. Like, he just had a very calming spirit about him.
Police are looking for this man who they believe is the...
Developing right now, police just identified a suspect accused of shooting and killing a security guard at a bar downtown. It is the latest case in a string of shootings outside Atlanta nightlife businesses just over the last 2 weeks. 11 Alive's Brittany Klein-Peter is live for us near the scene after just talking with police. What have you learned, Brittany?
So police say they do have a good idea of who the suspect is based on those surveillance photos taken near the Encore Hookah Bar and Lounge. You can see that lounge right behind us here on Lucky Street in downtown Atlanta. But let's go to those photos first so you can see the suspect. The camera's capturing pretty clear images of the man's face. Police say they believe he's the one who fired the shots in the overnight shooting. That shooting happening just after midnight. Police say the 28-year-old guard asked the suspect to leave the club. They got into a fight outside the business, and that's when the security guard was shot and killed.
Upon arrival, officers did in fact locate an individual that had received at least one gunshot wound. That individual was transported to Grady Hospital, where he did succumb to his injuries.
And last night's shooting marks at least the 7th shooting to happen near an Atlanta strip club, restaurant, or bar over the last week. Earlier last week, city leaders pledged to stop the gun violence.
All right. Now, I got to say this, Aaliyah. I'm so glad that I was listening to Young Jock that day. Young Jock has a radio station here in Atlanta, and I was listening to it. I was listening to it a lot, and then all of a sudden I stopped. No reason why, because I love the station, but I just stopped, focusing on my own work. And then this particular day, no lie, turned it on. I'm like, let me just see what they talking about today. Out the blue. And I'm looking at the comments, and I see someone say in the comments, that if anybody has lost a loved one, that's the first thing that stuck out, loved one, because that's something that myself and Jason is doing every Wednesday, which is having the family come on our show and tell their loved one's story. So when I saw that, I'm like, let me keep reading. And I mean, these comments was flowing because Young Jock is somebody, okay? So it said, if you know somebody, if you lost a loved one, DM me because I'm here in Atlanta and I'm trying to start a rally. And I'm like, that'll be great for Peachy Tea Time. I could be part of this. And when I reached out to her and DM'd her, she gave me her phone number, told me to call her. And when I called, That's when she told me this. So I'm thinking that me and her finna talk, Jason, about a rally, and she tells me this story. And it happened here in Atlanta, and I didn't even know about it. And I did my research. She sent me clips. I told her to come to the radio station. She came to the radio station. I told her she could do a part 2 here on Peachy News and everything. And when I tell you, my heart just goes out to you. The way, this goes beyond this, Jason. And we're not going to, spend too much time on it. But being that Aaliyah was not married to Ty, even though she's been with him for 2 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
2 years. Ty has been in her son's life for 2 years. Her son is only 4 years old now. So that's all he knows is Ty. They live together. They have been ride or die for each other for these past 2 years. This was her fiance. And the things that she's going through now, not only with her son having to, explain to him, a 4-year-old, on why Ty's not coming back, but she also have to deal with the fact of the family. And just, you didn't get anything behind this.
Mm-mm.
A lot of us would have gotten something, but she didn't get anything. And I feel like we all have to figure out some type of way where people, hey, baby, where people can, still continue on. Because like she said, she don't want to go back. Jason, you said it yourself. You wouldn't go back. The people that would be there wouldn't want to go back as a security guard. So what can be done in situations like this, Jason? What do you think can be done?
I'm sad that Ty got shot.
Yes.
We sad for you, little man. We sad for you.
We sure are. We sure are. We sure are.
He looking over you, though. He looking over you, little man.
Yeah, I was like, I just be like, we can't see him, but he can see us.
He got you.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's in heaven with Jesus.
Yes, he
Sure
is.
is.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
He's in heaven with Jesus. You are so right, little man.
You
sure right.
So
Yes.
for us here in Minnesota, right there, when I was doing it, we were running into these same situations because there is so many missing gaps for us. And when I say us, I'm speaking of all of us that do security. We are the club. Like, we are the reason the club is functioning at the highest level that it will, because if it doesn't, and there are so many issues, then that club's not going to stay open long. So it's like, to be honest with you, we're the heart of the club. Everybody else is major components too, but if you don't have good security for a nightclub or even a hookah lounge or whatever, your establishment's not gonna stay open long because of all the foul people that come in there, right? So one thing that I was thinking of and almost ran into doing before I left, it was starting a union. And it takes a lot. It's a lot to prepare for and to do and get ready, and hopefully that the people that do come in really want to join, because when you have a union, you got to pay dues in order to keep everything circumventing, right?
Exactly.
And that will be able to help people like Aaliyah or others that have family members that are in it and that may lose someone or is injured on a job. There's a lot of times somebody can get beat up and hurt really bad. And then, like you guys just said, there's nothing there that's left for them. But first and foremost, it really starts with the establishment itself, making sure that your pay wage is enough, making sure that you're valued enough. They're not going to take the precautions to give insurance and claims and things of that nature, like I said in the beginning, just because there's such a high turnover rate. The real good ones stay a while because they know, they figure out how to make a little extra cash. They like the staff that they're with, and then they do get to know the people that are coming in there, and they have a good understanding of the environment that's there because they created it, right?
Exactly.
Like, if I see somebody walking in and it's really like this, if they got on bummy shoes, their clothes is all tasseled and wrinkled, and they're looking disheveled, I'm not gonna let them in, because there's something that's loose there. There's a reason that he looks or she feels and looks this way. So no, we're not. No, we have a little bit of a standard that is kept here. Because if not, then everyone's gonna get in, and you're not gonna know who's who.
And Jason's not saying that the clean cut ain't gonna come in there and act a fool either. He ain't saying that.
They absolutely can. They absolutely can. 100%. But it's a deterrent, right? Typically, people that go out and that do dress up look to just really go out unless they are pushed over the edge and have them go beyond their means to either protect themselves or, be senseless. Let's spade is a spade. But still, at the end of the day, most people that do go out want to go out to have fun, and that's why they're going to dress up and look nice and not have that kind of confrontation in comparison to the latter. Someone that don't care and disheveled and just out here living a raw life.
Yeah,
you can see that a mile away.
So now I'm in the process of starting a nonprofit. I have been working with the mayor's office. One to help significant others and families who have lost someone to gun violence, because after the fact can be very difficult, and then hopefully making it a requirement for security to have bulletproof vests. And I know it's not going to prevent everything, but you always just think, well, what if it at least
one step closer.
Yeah. And so now, like, I do have a little memorial over here set up. I don't know if y'all can see it. I got this shirt.
Can you turn the camera? Okay. We can see a little
y'all
bit.
See it?
Yeah, now we can.
And then his security hoodies on the front side. And then I got, like, our rings right here and, like, a photo album and, like, all his, little personal stuff or whatever.
Oh.
So I kind of just sit there and journal and everything. I do a lot of work over there because he used to sit there all the time. I don't know what it was about this corner, but
it's a feng shui. That's where it came in. Like, that's the light in the life of the house right there.
Right. Yeah. So I just sit over there sometimes and journal and things like that. So really just been staying busy, because I know me sitting in the house and being sad all day is not going to necessarily do anything or help anyone. So I know I can't really change my situation, but hopefully, can prevent someone else from
very much
going through what I'm going through. So
I think with the new changes in Georgia, I really think that a lot of nightclubs, especially if they are in downtown, maybe even Decatur, some of those areas where it has been a higher rate of crime or gun violence, that it should be a requirement, whether they have to pay for it themselves. Because I wouldn't mind if I was still in the game. And they came to me like, yeah, we gotta, wear a flat jacket, something light where it can, cause less harm instead of wearing a full on, I would think about it, because you're right. It ain't like it's $1 million. I mean, it's roughly $60-$70, maybe 100 tops to grab one. Wow. And your life is worth way more.
Way more.
Yeah, I went to Old Lady Gang. It's like a restaurant. They have a bar and everything. They sell hookah. And I went there not too long ago. Was out eating with my aunt, and so I went to the security at the door and I said, "Hey, can I ask you a question? Like, why don't you have on a bulletproof vest?" And he was like, "I'm not worried about it. Like, nothing really happens over here. And plus, I don't really think nobody's gonna do anything." And in my head, I'm like, I have a gun in my purse right now. And that's what I'm thinking in my head. So what if I was that person that just came in and was just having a bad day, But it's like, you don't really think about it until you think about it. Because in my head, I'm like, he's saying, he's not worried about it. He doesn't need it. But what if I was that person? I'm grieving right now. I could be mad at the world.
Yeah, and because he said it like that.
Yeah, I had my gun on me. So it's just like, people don't think about situations like that. It could not even be you. I could be going through something and just decide, hey, I'm just going to go take out what I'm feeling on somebody else. Or I'm going to go kill a security guard because my fiance was killed and you're not taking advantage of the fact that you can get a bulletproof vest. That's how I could have felt. So that's why when I do see security guards, I just encourage them to get one because you just never know.
Well, you have inspired me, and I am going to encourage them just as well when I see them, when I go out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I can say. Hey, Jasmine. That's one thing that I can say right now is that Peachy Tea Time, Peachy News, Peachy Talks, Peachy Hits it all, to me, for me, it brings awareness. It makes me more observant when I'm out in these streets somewhere. It makes me, and I've already been observant, but now I'm even more. I'm more aware of my surroundings now. It ain't nothing for me to turn my head and look around, like what's going on. You know, whoever I'm with, they be like, "What's wrong with you, girl? You must don't watch my show enough." Shit, you got to look around and see what's going on nowadays, even at the stoplight. You know, I played a clip where a lady was inside her car at a stoplight, Aaliyah, and a man came and busted her window with a brick and took her purse. Stuff like this. We have to be aware of our surroundings and know what's going on, y'all. We got to. So, Aaliyah, I'm going to make sure that I start doing that just as well. Because like you said, at the end of the day, it could possibly save your life. It could possibly save your life. So, y'all, we finna go ahead and get into our motivation for tonight, which is our last clip for tonight. When we get back, Aaliyah is going to drop her peaches. Jason gonna drop his peaches, and I'm gonna drop my peaches. And Aaliyah, you remember what drop my peaches mean, girl. So here we go.
Confidence isn't walking into a room thinking that you're better than anyone. It's walking in knowing that you don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Comparing yourself to another person, that isn't even in your system. There's no thought of comparison. There is no competition with any other human. You are not above anyone. You are not below anyone. That's confidence. When you can get to the place in your life where comparison is dead, where you are good enough, not to others, but to yourself, that is confidence. And you can be good enough right now because you are good enough right now. You might just need to change your mindset. Confidence can be developed in many ways. You can start with your physiology, your posture. If I asked you what a confident person looked like, would you be able to tell me? Of course you would. They look strong, sure of themselves. How are they standing? They're standing tall. How are their shoulders? They are back, upright. They make eye contact. Their head is up, not down. Now, a shy or introverted person might say, yeah, well, that's all good for outgoing people, but I will never be confident. Anyone can develop confidence. Some might have to work on it harder than others because they've conditioned themselves into a lack of confidence for much of their life. But anyone can develop confidence. Even the majority of shy people have moments where they aren't shy, like around people they trust, maybe family, friends, or their partner. Moments where they can be themselves fully. So the shyness is selective, which means you can make confidence permanent if you consciously decide to be the person and do the things you do. Not just around those you trust the most, but all the time. Being confident doesn't mean you're loud. It isn't about being the one that has to be noticed. It's the opposite. It's knowing you're great without having to be seen. It's the silent winner. It's the humble champion. If you lack confidence, you can change. If you lack anything, you can change. You can be anything in life, including radical personality change, if you are committed to finding the answers. Unlock the greatest version of yourself, your true nature, of confidence, of pure positive energy. Unlock your authentic power today.
All right, y'all. We are back. We are back in the building. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drop my peaches first, baby. I did that wrong. Let me drop my peaches first. And we're going to go ahead and let Aaliyah close it on out tonight, baby. So, y'all know where y'all can find me. Hey, Josette. Josette was in the building tonight, y'all. We had Josette. We had Hillary Banks in the building. We had Jazzy Faye in the building. Hey, Jasmine. We had Fred in the building. We had Energy God in the building. We had Mama Peach in the building. And we had LA Burning. Y'all, we was popping tonight, okay? We was popping. The list goes on, okay? But thank you all, each and every one of you, for joining us tonight. You can find me on all platforms under Peachy Tea Time. And time is spelled with the Y. And anyone out there that has lost a loved one due to gun violence, domestic violence, the police, even the police, I ain't scared. I'm not scared. Even the police, okay? And of course, the prison system. So anybody, please, please, please make sure that you come on out to Peachy Tea Time. Let me know, DM me, text me, however, and get at me so that you and your family can tell your loved one's story. Also, anybody out there that is an independent artist, that is a business owner, comedian, anything, actor, actress, whatever you got going on out there, baby, hit me up so that you can come on down to Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio, baby, and hang out with your girl, the missus with the kisses. And here go Jason.
Oh man, again, thank you so much for tuning in 100%. Please continue to tap in with Miss Aaliyah. She has some really great things going on in the state of Georgia, specifically Atlanta, to help stop gun violence, but also show awareness for Ty Ross, which is a loved one that she lost, her fiance that she lost not too long ago. So my heart goes out. Again, this is a very special one, but seeing that I still have brothers that are still doing security. I know how close this is. I know how tragic it is as well. But you can definitely make sure you follow her, and she'll be on here in a second to let you know exactly where you can. For myself, man, right now, just look for me out on TikTok. We go live on CTV Radio, which is Catch This Vibe Radio, where we get it in. And we play nothing but amazing hits, anything from indie artists to mainstream artists. And again, if there's any artist that is out there that is an indie artist that is looking to get their music played in front of a great audience, just contact me at Linktree, which is LINK what is it? .tree. tr.ee, and then it's /best LLC, BEST LLC. Appreciate you.
All right, Jason have a little bit. It look boiled down, so he'll cuss me out. Jason gonna have it right next week, y'all. Jason, I keep telling Jason. I'm telling y'all. I keep telling Jason, send me the information so I can put it all up on the screen. I came up with what y'all see right now. Follow CTV Radio on TikTok. But Jason got so much other stuff going on. And I want to make sure that the spelling is correct and all of that. So I tell my brother, who I call my brother, Jason, give me your shit. That's what I tell him. But Jason, instead, Jason wants to come up here and This is what Jason really wanted to do at that point. That's what Jason wanted to do. Because Jason's like, oh my gosh, I forget. Okay, but Jason, I'm telling you now, this is the last time. Get me your stuff. And at least when you see it going across the screen when you're up there, you can at least read it. I love you. I love you. And yes, like Jason said, let me not forget as well. Y'all follow Aaliyah. Aaliyah got big things going on out here, especially for Atlanta. And who knows, if we keep sharing what she's doing, the same thing can happen in other states just as well. Okay? So please make sure y'all follow Aaliyah. And most importantly, more than anything else, if you believe in God, please pray for her. Pray for her strength. Pray for her guidance. Pray for her baby. and pray for her. Okay? Now here go Miss Aaliyah. Aaliyah finna close out the show. That's what she finna do. Here you go, Aaliyah, girl. It's your turn.
Hi. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Call Me Big Lele. That's what they call me. So Call Me Big Lele. That's my Instagram and my TikTok. I also have a YouTube page called Remembering Ross. It's on YouTube. I've been talking a lot about this story. I'll be talking about other stories going on, just different topics. So make sure you go subscribe and stay tuned in. If you want to donate, you can go to my GoFundMe. It's Long Live Ty. If you have any more questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram or TikTok or any other platform. You can probably find all my platforms if you go follow me on Instagram. So you'll be seeing more from me. And like she said, just continue to pray for me and my son and Ty's family as well.
Peachy time. Peachy time. Peachy time. Peachy time. Peachy time.